Hello, welcome to RobertRHartley.com. Hope you're enjoying the time, the videos that you've seen up to date. I want to take a couple minutes and go through a scenario that happened yesterday. I was helping to close a real estate transaction, and in this particular case, I was actually negotiating the contract itself. And what was unique about this is that there was a set price that everybody had agreed upon. There were some disagreements that were going on, and the transaction was going to dissolve, and they asked me to get involved to see if I can salvage it. And there's really an important aspect of negotiations that I think most real estate investors miss. And it really is about, it's not beating the other side or winning in a negotiation. Now, there's a hot topic in the law. It's always called win-win negotiations. You know, I don't really believe in that, although I use the techniques, but it's all about winning. I mean, be clear. You're trying to get something that you want, and you have to sort of get them to either give it to you, and the problem is when you try to take it from the other side. So this is the thing. I don't get dates or anything. I'm not really smooth outside of these things, but these techniques work really well in the law. I'm not sure if you could translate them to some sort of singles bar, but let's just keep it here. The technique that I use is called leverage techniques, and here's what you want to do. When you're talking to the other person and they're negotiating a real estate transaction, what most inexperienced real estate investors do is try to focus on their position. They are constantly trying to worry about what they're getting. What you really should be doing is figuring out what the other side wants. That's the negotiation. It's what I call leverage negotiations. If the other side wants money, then you have to work on the amount of money that's going to go into the property and the value of the property. If they want a high number, you're going here with value. So if there's a gap of $50,000, you have to be prepared to lay out a case on why that value is not in the property. Because some people just think, well, my property is worth this. You have to show them hard evidence that it's not worth this. And what you're using as a backstop is the potential market that could actually drive the price lower. So if that seller wants money, that's a leverage point for you. Okay? You want money. Well, let's face facts and find out if we can get to an agreement on what needs to be fixed in the property. How do you do that? Well, that could be a real impediment to them to sell the property to you, because they may think, well, if I get $400,000 for it or $500,000 for it, then I can make the repairs. Okay? Well, a lot of times when I find that, what I do is I leverage. I say, well, listen, what if you don't make any repairs? Are you willing to lower the price for that? Because what they're thinking is, I need to get the money back from the repairs I'm going to have to make. That's the pressure that they're putting on themselves. They're putting pressure on themselves to recoup cash paid out for the house. Well, do you really care if the house is worth $450 instead of $500 if you don't have to pay the money out if you're a seller? No. It doesn't matter. If you put out $50 to get $50 back, that process doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you're a seller, you're thinking, I got to make the repairs to the property, so I'm getting leverage in the marketplace for the value that's not there because I need to repair the property. So I need to put the money out, so therefore I got to price the property higher to get the money back. Take away that leverage from them. Take it away. Just say, listen, no repairs. Oh, well, that might be great for them. Secondly, you want to give them a variety of options when this leverage comes up. You don't want to get into this, what I call single issue debates on negotiations. So, for example, someone says, well, I want to pay $305 and they want to pay $304. Well, most of the time, those price differences have nothing to do with really what's going on in the negotiations. So make sure you've gotten the seller, if you're trying to buy the property, okay, to commit to a closing date, to commit to closing costs, to commit to repairs, to commit to all these things. So one of the techniques that I use to create a leverage negotiation is I take a piece of paper and I write down every issue that I want to win in when I discuss my offer or I make an open offer to somebody. And I try to put as many on there as possible. Termite letter, pool inspections, everything, and I list them all down there. If I get the majority of them, then what I do is I say to the seller or to the buyer, I say, listen, I would like to get some more information about this last issue. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say it's on price. Okay, I'll try to get the deal as close as possible, and then I'll say to them, listen, why don't we split an appraisal? The appraisal comes in lower, I'll pay this. If the appraisal comes in higher, I'll pay this. That takes the risk completely out of the transaction. It also allows you an out, because if the property comes back really low, you may not want to pay that price for it. You may not want to pay the property at all, so you may be able to put that contingency in there. If it comes back really high, the seller may say, well, now I want more money, but they're already in the transaction with you, so they may just be willing to say what the price is. So you want to make sure that you don't, the old phrase is cut your nose off to spite your face. You just want to be focused in on taking those leverage positions, checking off as much as you can, and then isolating the remaining positions and adding information to them to create more leverage. Okay, so that's the leverage position. We're going to go through this in some more detail, and I think in the next video I'm probably going to give you an example of that to show you exactly on the whiteboard what I mean when I talk about a leverage negotiation regarding price. Thanks for viewing the videos. Looking forward to answering any of your questions or comments at albertohartley.com. Thanks.